And when I tell them that it is $1,800, the look on their face is like, whoo. All right, y'all, I'm torn, man. Like, for the first time, I feel like I can leave Apple, and here's why. So I got the Galaxy Z folding house, flipping open close as jealousy grows from the spouse. We iPhone gang, no cap, I had to try it out. Some get it for the clout, but me, I had to take it out. Side ride, we Michigan, ain't no roll tide. Had the Z for one, loved it, left it, now I'm backsliding. Videos on the way to test squad, you know we stay grinding. But when them screens touch, it's like two worlds when they coinciding. To exist. What up, y'all? It's your boy CKid here, man. And legit, y'all, for the first time, I'm debating if I want to leave the iPhone. Like, really, y'all, I like the Galaxy Z Fold 3s. I've had this phone now for a whole week. I've traveled with it. I've listened to music with it. I've browsed the web with it. Even watched Netflix on it, which I can't front is probably one of my most favorite things about this phone, and that is opening this bad boy up. This right here. Opening this bad boy up and just watching content on it, man. Just a whole bunch of other stuff I've done on this phone. And it is no doubt one of the most fun phone that I've ever owned. But there's still some drawbacks about it that I don't like that we can get into right now. Before we actually do that, man, I want y'all right now to go ahead and comment down below how many likes is on this video at the time of you guys are watching it, because I got something special for you guys a little later in this video. So CKid, what don't you honestly like about it that has you hesitant on making the full switch? Now, if I'm being honest with you, first off, it's a great question. If I'm being honest with you guys, one of the biggest things that I dislike about this phone that I'm having a tough time getting used to, and that is having so many apps to do things that I feel should be native to the phone. For example, right, FaceTiming or video calling somebody. So me, my guy Terry, and my guy CJ, right, we FaceTime a lot. And the fact that even though me and my guy CJ both have the Galaxy Z Fold 3, in order for me to FaceTime call him, it has to launch open Google Duo in order to do that. I just feel like this should be a feature that by now at least should be just native to the device. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about is the cameras. Now, I'm honestly not a huge big fan of these cameras as well, because I just feel like these cameras just aren't 100% it. Now, are they passable for this device? Yeah, I would say they're passable, but when you're talking about an $1,800 device, I would expect grade A cameras, and I don't feel like I'm getting that out of this phone. To me, one of the main things that are important to me when it comes to a smartphone camera, and that is video. Although photos is key as well, but video quality to me is more important, and I feel that on all of these cameras, they kind of missed the mark. Again, it is passable, but it's not what I would expect out of something I paid $1,800 for. Now, the next one that we got to talk about is pretty subjective, but I want to talk about it, and that is the price. Now, although I love having this phone, don't get me wrong, I love this device, but $1,800 I do feel is overpriced for this full experience. Now, to be fair, I've given this phone to Android lovers as well as Samsung users, and they didn't even know that this phone even came out. And so they naturally asked me, yo, what phone is this? And like genuinely excited about it. And I would tell them it's the Galaxy Z Fold 3. And the natural follow-up question is going to be, how much does this phone cost? And when I tell them that it is $1,800, the look on their face is like, whoo, nope, that ain't it. Like, to the point, guys, where it is too expensive. And honestly, y'all, I feel like this is always going to be the reaction and deter people from actually wanting to buy it, especially if they can't get the price down. Now, I would love to see this price point anywhere around like $1,200, $1,300. And I understand it is new technology. I get all of that. And, you know, it's still being refined and finding its place into the tech world. But I feel like more people would be intrigued by it if they could get that price down to somewhere around $1,200, $1,300, because that's why I feel like more people were intrigued by the Galaxy Z Flip 3 over the Fold 3, is because it's right at $1,000, which is way more palatable for consumers than almost paying $2,000 for this device. Regardless of if you guys are trading stuff in, the value is still spending almost $2,000. Now, another thing has to be, and that is dealing with the S Pen. Let me grab the S Pen real quick for this. All right, so I got this whole S Pen and case concoction that I got right here. Now, first things first, let me show y'all why I do not like this case that they came out with. So, all right, so first I got it clipped in, right? You're like, all right, the S Pen fits right here on the side, no problem, right? Then we got this right here. Check this out. What, like what is this? Like, it's still clipped in on this side, but this side is just kind of open. So then when you open it up, it's like it just kind of hangs off. Like, this design here, whoever made this, This wasn't it. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get back to the S Pen, what we was talking about. Now, when it comes to this S Pen, as a note lover, I will say I am a fan of the S Pen in general, but I do feel like when it comes to this device here, I felt like the S Pen was more of an afterthought, especially starting with this case, which we just talked about, because this little flap that you have right here, it just doesn't work. But I will say it is nice to have a place to be able to put the S Pen. I just wish there was a way that they could have configured it to where it slides into the phone and charges it, versus me having to have this like separate and then finding a place for it and all of that, because again, this case just ain't it. And then the other thing when it comes to this S Pen that I don't like is the fact that I cannot use this S Pen on the front screen. I went through all of the settings to see if you could, and nope. There was nothing. Now, the last thing that's got me hesitant, I can't front, might be the biggest one, and that is losing AirDrop and receiving multimedia videos and text messages without it looking like it came from a phone in 1994. Now, before y'all say in the comments, well, they do got quick share, listen, I want y'all to come closer to the screen. I want y'all to listen to me closely. I want you to turn up the volume when I say this. Quick share is nowhere near as good, and even nowhere near on the level as AirDrop. Let me go ahead and break this down for you. Quick share is capped at 1 GB file sizes, meaning that if the file size is larger than that, it can't send it. Now, that may not be a big issue for you, but as a person who works with gigabyte file sizes on a daily basis with recording videos like you guys are watching right now in 4K and wanting to transfer those over to my computers or even my tablets, this is a problem for me. I've also invested heavily in Apple computers as well as tablets that work so well with each other that it would be a huge major change as well as an expensive change for me to be able to make. Now, there is a workaround with this that I've been doing lately with using this device and having all of my videos and stuff that I've been recording using this device. I just plug it in and use Android transfer, and it works really good. I just plug it into my computer, my M1 Mac Mini, and then I just drag the files off and it is smooth, no problem. But nothing on the market, in my personal opinion, beats the convenience of AirDrop. Period. So now that we pretty much got all of that out of the way, now let's go ahead and get into some of the things that I really like. But first, we're gonna take it out of this non-existent case that we got. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into why I really want to keep this phone right here. Now, besides all of the nitpicking things that I just talked about, this is a damn good phone, y'all, period. Now, from the build quality down to how fluid this phone is when it comes to watching content. Now, I got to start with the screens. Samsung, y'all, makes some of the best screens in the market, and they did not disappoint when it comes to this device right here. Now, the screens to me are fire. I like the size of the outside screen that you guys are getting right here, although it is not the best for typing. But honestly, y'all, I don't think that it is actually meant to be used that way. I mainly use it for quick notifications, checking my text messages, quick Twitter checks, email checks here and there, and anything else that I'm wanting to open the phone up and see the larger display, I just open it up to do so. To me, I feel like, why would you want to watch like YouTube videos on the smaller screen when you can just open it up and you get it all right here? Just seems like this is the better way to do it. Now, the other thing that I like about it is that it is not as heavy as I thought it would be. Now, you would think that having a phone that really is two phones stacked on top of each other, just folded down, would actually be a heavy device, but it's actually not. Now, when you guys are wearing basketball shorts, it does still kind of weigh your shorts down a little bit, but I mean, if you put an iPhone in there, it's gonna do the same. Now, another thing that I like with this phone, y'all, is that you can actually take selfies with the rear facing camera using the front display as a viewfinder. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I mean. So what I mean is, if I open this bad boy up right here, I'm gonna let y'all see my code. If I go ahead and start the camera, now in the corner up here, you have like this little icon in the corner, the cover screen on the preview. So now if I go to video, I can actually use the backside here of my phone, and I'm actually using the cameras that's actually on this side right here. So if I put my hand here, you can see that it's using that, but I can actually use this and take a selfie like so. So all I have to do is, if I go into my phone like so, I just press on and open up the camera app. Now, in this right corner up here, I have it on photo. In this right corner, the right corner up top there, you probably can't see it, but I'll show it to you. Now, in the right corner up there, instantly, if I press that, now I get the viewfinder on the back side of my screen. So now I can actually use this screen right here, and I'm using the camera on the right side, and I'm using the camera over here. It's kind of hard to do it on this side. Here we go. And you guys can see my hand is right here. So I'm using that camera. All I have to do is do this, and then I can take a selfie like so. And boom, I got a selfie using the rear facing camera which is actually pretty dope. Now, although it is awkward to actually hold it with it being open like that, but knowing that you guys can do that is actually really dope and get that quality selfie versus just using the front-facing camera that they have on the phone. Now, the biggest thing that I like about this device, y'all, is consuming content. Nowadays, y'all already know, being on the internet as well as social media, we always consuming content literally all freaking day. And when I tell you guys, this phone is the best phone ever created for consuming content. Like, there's no other phone, not even my iPhone, is even coming close to consuming content as far as just immersing you guys into the experience. And just when I watch Netflix, I even got Netflix up right now as I'm talking to y'all, and it's just like watching content on here is just so freaking clear. Then when you combine that with the technology where they added like the pixels to show on top of the inside camera, that's just really dope. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Samsung has it to where it's the front facing camera that's inside. When you guys open it up, the pixels is going to match whatever content is on top of it when the camera's not in use. But then as soon as you guys launch the camera, then you guys can instantly see it, which is really dope tech. And you guys can see me doing that right here on the screen. Now, in my last video, I talked about the fingerprint reader as well as the facial recognition scanner not working that well for me. So I took y'all advice in that video. I re-input my fingerprint biometrics, and y'all was right, man. It now works crazy fast. So I definitely take that back. But when it comes to facial recognition scanner on darker melanated people like myself in darker lighting situations, it does still struggle to find me, and I've always have to resort to the fingerprint scanner instead, which is not that big of a deal, but I still would like to use the, the front facing biometrics to be able to log me into my device in darker situations. So I still have to give the edge to the iPhone for that. As a brown skinned person like myself, if you guys are curious about that, then there you guys have it with that. Even with all of the things that I mentioned y'all in this video and things that I've had issues with, I would still recommend this device to a person who is already in the Samsung ecosystem that is not a Note user, because if you guys are a Note user, then I would probably hold off, hopefully till next year. Maybe they announce something coming new there. But if you guys are just looking for an upgrade to a newer device that has a lot of functionality to offer and just a fun ass phone, to be honest with y'all, man, then I would honestly feel like this is one that you don't have to wait till next year. This phone, y'all, is prime time and ready to go, and you will not have any buyer's remorse at all. So go get you one, man, because it's worth it.